Story time about the time I met a predator while I was working alone. For a little backstory, I work at a kiosk at a mall. It's the kind of kiosk that's like a square, so I'm in the middle and people can walk all around the outside. But because of this, there's no back rooms, I don't have any coworkers, I'm all by myself all the time. Which is usually fine, but in a case like this story also takes place my first week working, so I was pretty nervous still, and I was still trying to be extra nice to customers because I was new. This night in particular, it's like 5 p.m. There's not many people in the mall. I noticed this guy looking at the chocolates in my display case for a pretty long time. I don't think much of it. A lot of people come and stop and look at what I had to sell. But I was aware of him because he was there for a while and he did keep glancing at me. But he leaves and I don't see him for about an hour when he comes back. Again, he's looking at the chocolates in the display case for a really long time, but he keeps looking up at me, so I keep thinking he needs help. But every time I ask, he's like, no, I'm good. But he continues to look at me more than the chocolate. Eventually, he does pick a chocolate and he comes to pay. And most people, while they're paying, they look at their money, they look at what they're doing. But for him, he was just staring into my soul the entire time he was doing the transaction. So I was already kind of thrown off by this. What are you doing, sir? And it only goes downhill from here. Also, I forgot to mention, this guy is 40. He could be my father. He's bald and very clearly at least twice my age. He finishes paying and I think he's gonna be on his merry way because I'm already alright, that's enough, you can leave now. But instead, he looks me dead in the eye and goes, would you like to get together with me sometime? He said it very softly and very almost slyly. I don't know how to describe it. Just never heard someone speak like that who had good intentions. People don't normally speak like how he was talking to me. Also, what? Why would you ask that to someone who looks like a minor? So maybe my customer servicey self was like, I'm all set. Have a great day. Partially because I was so caught off guard and partially because I was scared. So I think he's gonna leave now because what else could you have to say? You just got rejected. And he goes, I get the feeling I'm making you uncomfortable. And I kind of just laughed yes, you are. And you'd think if a normal person felt like they were making someone uncomfortable, they would, stop. They would leave. They would evacuate. But no, why would he do that? So now he's just standing back a little bit from the register, just, again, watching me, kind of eyeing me up and down. And he goes, I bet you get a lot of attention from guys working at a place like this, don't you? I was like, no, not really. What? But he doesn't stop there. He then proceeds to say, well, dressed like that, every guy's thinking about your body, even if he doesn't come and say it. I literally could not believe my ears. I thought I heard him wrong. And for reference, I was wearing a t-shirt and long pants. This was my outfit. You cannot see anything. Finally, he's getting ready to leave, and as his final goodbye, he decides to place the chocolate he bought very intentionally back on the counter and walks away. At the time, I thought he was doing this so he had an excuse to come back and harass me later because he forgot it. But now I think he was just doing it more as a statement of yeah, I didn't want this anyways. I was only coming over just to harass you. I only came over here to ask you out. Although he didn't actually do anything to me, I was so scared by this interaction. And I just felt so disgusting because I knew he was just looking at me like meat the whole time. I have never felt more like prey in my entire life. I literally felt like I was a caged animal while he was circling around me. I wish I could describe better the way he was talking and the way he was looking, but just understand that people have said strange things to me before, but I've just never gotten such a deeply unsafe feeling from a person. Before you ask, yes, I told my parents, I told my boss, I got numbers for security in case he comes back. Also, I know I probably should have handled this very differently. Now that I've had time to think about it, I can think of many things I could say that would be more assertive, that would stand up for myself better. But you also have to remember I was alone. There was no one around. I was nervous because it was my first week. I was nervous because he was scary. I didn't want to say something that might upset him, that may cause him to either do something to me in the moment or to stay and watch me and stalk me. Especially because I was closing soon, and to close I have to go back out through a dark alley in the mall and go out to this little alleyway where the dumpsters are that's very dark. There's no one around. So I was scared that if I upset him, he would follow me or do something bad. But thankfully he didn't. All was well. The story could have been a lot worse. But I really did feel so unsafe, and I really believe that he had absolutely terrible intentions, even though he didn't act on them. But luckily, I'm safe, and he only came back once after that, and he never said anything more to me. But that's all. Thanks for listening. Have a great night, everyone.